Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something that Albert Einstein supposedly called the eighth wonder of the world. It's called compound growth. And honestly, it's a financial force so powerful, it can turn these small, consistent actions into massive wealth over time. So let's explore how it actually works. I mean, really think about that for a second. What if your money wasn't just sitting there? What if it was actively working for you, building on itself and just accelerating its own growth year after year, without you having to do a thing? It sounds like magic, right? But it is a very, very real financial principle. And here's the best part. Getting this power to work for you isn't about being rich or some kind of financial genius. Nope. It's about understanding one simple truth, that with this principle, the clock is actually on your side. Time becomes the single most valuable tool in your entire financial toolkit.
So, what is compound growth exactly? Well, at its core, it's just the process where you earn returns not just on your starting amount, that's your principal, but also on all the returns that have already piled up.
You know, the simplest way to think about it is this: interest on interest. Your earnings start generating their own earnings. Seriously, if you remember nothing else from this explainer, just remember that phrase. It's the whole idea that drives everything we're talking about. Now, to really see how powerful this is, let's put it side by side with its cousin, simple interest. See, with simple interest, you earn the same fixed amount every single year, but only on your initial investment. It's predictable, yeah, but it's totally flat. Compound interest, on the other hand, that's dynamic. Your earnings get added back into the pot, which creates a larger base for next year's earnings. Your money is literally building on itself. And this table just illustrates the difference perfectly. Let's say we start with $1,000. Okay, after year one, they're tied. No big deal. But look at year two. The compound balance has already pulled ahead by $10. Then by year three, that gap is now $31. I know, it might seem small at first, but what you're seeing is the very beginning of an exponential curve. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, just getting bigger and faster and bigger. So this all leads to the big question, right? What is the single most important factor that ignites this whole process and turns that tiny snowball into a massive avalanche of growth? Well, I'll tell you, it's probably not what most people think. It's not about trying to pick the perfect stock, and it's definitely not about having a huge pile of cash to start with. The most powerful factor is actually much, much simpler, and it's available to every single one of us. That's it. Time. The longer your money has to work for you, the more powerful that compounding effect becomes. You got to think of time as the fuel for this financial engine, and the more fuel you give it, the more dramatic the results are going to be. And if you need proof, this chart is the real wow moment. Okay, so it compares two investors. The early investor puts in a smaller amount of money for just a few years and then just stops. The late investor invests way more money overall, but starts later and invests for much longer. And yet, look at this. The early investor ends up with dramatically more wealth. I mean, how is that even possible? Well, here's why the early bird won. The early investor put in way less money, but they gave their investment the ultimate gift: more time. Those first few years are the most powerful. They create a foundation that all the future growth just builds and builds upon. That, right there, is the magic of compounding in its purest form. All right, so now that we get the what and the why, let's talk about the how. How can you actively put this incredible force to work in your own life? It's actually way more straightforward than you might think. This really boils down to 4 key steps. Number 1, as we've just seen, is to start early. Every single year matters. Then be consistent. Make those regular contributions, because even small amounts add fuel to the fire. Third, and this is crucial, always reinvest your returns. You have to let that money stay in the game to earn even more. And finally, the hardest part for a lot of us, you have to be patient. This is a decades-long game. You gotta let the process work its magic. And hey, to help you kind of visualize this over the long haul, there's a fantastic little mental shortcut you can use. It's a really simple rule of thumb that helps you see the power of compounding in a super tangible way. It's called the Rule of 72. And it's so easy. All you do is take the number 72 and divide it by your estimated annual rate of return. The answer is the approximate number of years it's going to take for your investment to double. It's just a quick and powerful way to plan ahead. For example, let's say you expect a 7% annual return. Well, your money will double in about 10 years. Just imagine that for a second. Doubling your wealth every decade just by letting the process work. So at the end of the day, compound growth isn't some get-rich-quick scheme.
It's a principle for building wealth slowly and surely. It rewards patience and consistency more than anything else. So, knowing that time is your greatest ally, the only question left is the one right here on your screen. What could your financial future look like if you start letting this powerful force work for you starting today?